Hi, everyone. Jasmine here. Thanks so much for joining my monthly Q&A for blogging. So I will go through my typical spiel. Hi, I'm Jasmine. I've been blogging for about a decade and, well, more than a decade, more like 13 years now, actually. And I do this monthly blogging Q&A, mostly to sit and chat blogging with you guys and answer any questions that you may have when it comes to blogging. So I usually do a quick intro of myself, and then I have a topic that I usually have prepared to talk with you guys as well. So I have a really good one today. But that's after I answer your questions. So I start by answering the questions that I have live here in the group, and then I will get into my topic for the day. So I see we already have some questions coming in. Hi, Lurleen. Good to see you again. I'm so happy you're here. So I guess we can jump right into it, right? No need to waste any time. So Lurleen has the first question. Lurleen says, when you put images in your blog, do you name the alt text a related keyword, or is that keyword stuffing? Good question. I say it depends. So I have two methods when it comes to images on my blog posts. I have images that I created in Canva, which are usually my social media images. This is the image that has like a stock photo plus like the title of my article on it. And I treat those a little bit different than I do images that I just put into my article for the sake of adding some variety to all the text. So I'll start with my social media images. I have a Facebook image and a Pinterest image in every blog post. When it comes to the alt text, for those, I just put the title of the article. And why do I do that? Because if someone were to search for that picture, the title of the article would come up. So because it's on the image. So in that case, I do put the alt text in the images. Now, when it comes to an image I'm putting in the article itself, let's say it's a can of soda, I put can of soda as the alt text. So I know that when you use Yoast, they say that you want to make sure that you're putting keywords in your alt text, at least in a few of the images, to make sure that you're getting that little green dot. But you typically, unless it makes sense, I don't put it in the alt text. And alt text is when I put my title is for my social media images. So it balances things out. But good question. All right, another question. Also, can we use the creative licensing images for web stories? I would say so, as long as it's royalty free. I think all the same rules apply for web stories as it does on your website, because web stories are on your website. So I think that should be okay. Something I realized recently, if you have a pro Canva account, they have stock images that you can use when you're designing images. But if you wanted to just download an image from Canva and use one of their stock images, that's paid for with a pro account. So you don't run into any issues as far as like licensing, because you technically have a license through Canva. So if you don't have a paid Canva account, that may be reason to get one alone. I'll tell you a story. I had something happen recently when I get one of those scam emails, but I mean, it's obviously a scam, but it's real, where they're trying to sue me for copyright infringement, saying that the author of a stock photo didn't give you permission. If you can't tell us the license for this image, we're going to sue you unless you pay us like $500 right now and take the image off your website. And I looked up the company. They're a real company, and this image was from 8 years ago. Was it 8 years ago? Yeah, it was a long time ago. No, it wasn't 8 years. It was like 3 or 4 years ago, because I remember I was using Canva then. So anyway, I'm looking all over the place. I can't find this image. So I shared I shared the story with Canva support. They looked it up. They said, "Oh yeah, this was on our account. Let them know you have a license with Canva." And I told them, "Hey, I have a license with Canva." I'm like, "Oh, okay, no, never mind." So having Canva and pulling your images from there in case, 4 or 5 years down the line, someone tries to do this scam on you. It happens all the time. I hear people talk about it in different blogging communities. I literally just talked to someone today who said it was happening to them, and gave them my experience, the same story I just told you. So all I have to say is be careful with any images. Obviously, there are some new scams designed specifically for people who are using royalty-free websites. You got your image legitimately, but they can come down the line 5-8 years later when they know good and well if you had a license for this image, you don't have it anymore, and that's just a good way to save your butt. So hopefully that helps. Do you mind sharing a web story that performed well? Yes, I can do that. Give me 1 minute. I'll pull up my blog, Blogging My New Life, because I've had multiple web stories go viral. I had one go viral a couple of weeks ago. It was last week, actually. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's this week. It's still like one of the top posts on my site right now. Let me just pull up the link. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm sharing here. So this is a story that recently went viral for me. It's just comparing United Airlines to, what's the other one? To Delta. So it's comparing United Airlines to Delta. And you can see it's just some basic information. I put like one sentence from each boldest subheader, maybe two. I add them in. I usually have between 5 and 7 different pages on the story. And then in the end, I always have a link to the original article because that's why you're doing this. All right. So I always have the title for the original article and then the read more button, and they can go and click through to read more. So if you want to check that on your own, I'd be happy to share. Let me stop sharing right now. But I'm going to show you my web stories. I'll just give you the link to them if you want to scroll through. I'll tell you, web stories are so random when it comes to like what takes off and what doesn't. And it's always the one where you think like, oh, no one's ever going to be interested in this topic that takes off. So yeah, go ahead and check them out. I've had, like I said, multiple stories that have done really well on my site. And it's been huge for me having Google Web Stories. So I know I've told you guys before that I had so much success with Google Web Stories because I started using them earlier this year for Blogging My New Life. It did so well. I started using it on my other blog. And something that's really cool that happened recently that I can say is a win is both of my blogs got hit hard with the recent Google updates. First, the useful content update, and now the most recent one. My first, Miss Mill, did very well for the useful content update, and then this next one, they both got hit. But what I will say is I started to see some more traffic pick up, thinking like, okay, the worst is over. We're good now. I can just, go back to sleeping easy. But it turned out that it was my Google Web Stories that were taking off again, and that's why I was getting more traffic. So I like to look at my web stories. They used to be a part of my plan in regard to, this is just another way to boost your SEO overall. But now I look at them as, this is another lever to pull when things change so that you have some type of backup in case everything just goes sideways. So yeah. So if you have more questions, feel free to share them in the chat here. And what I would like to do is jump right into my topic because I kind of started talking about it a little bit. My topic today is what to do when things change. because this is like the main topic I've been hearing from every blogging group I'm in. We've had some big Google updates recently, 2 of them, and then I hear there's another one that's going to be happening at the same time while this one that's rolling out right now is happening. So everyone is kind of like crossing their fingers and hoping for the best, but I've seen pretty much every blogger has been touched in some way. There are some that are a few bloggers that haven't been touched by at least one of these updates. But I've seen a lot of people panicking, people getting out of the blogging game altogether. There's some people who are saying like, hey, I was getting 1 million people to my site and now my traffic is down by 70%. This was like my main source of income. I don't know what to do. So there's a lot of panic like that, and understandably, right? But what I like to talk about is what has worked for me. So like I said, I saw an impact on both of my blogs at this point, but I still have some wins even during that time. I had one blog that didn't get hit at all from that first update. Both my blogs got hit with the second, but I've still seen some really big spikes happen with my content, despite the fact that my overall traffic was decreasing. So I want to talk through some of the things that I've done that has been my saving grace. Because at the end of the day, Google organic traffic is great. It has great people who are coming to your site because those are the people who are looking for the answers that you're giving them, right? But when there are things like this happening, where there are big updates and changes, it can be really difficult to keep up with your traffic when something changes. So for example, 80% of my traffic that goes to Blogging Money Life was organic traffic. So if something happens with that, that means, that's most of my traffic is going down the drain. So I'll tell you, there have been a few things that have worked well for me. The first I already talked to you guys about, Google Web Stories. So I know technically that's Google, right? But for some reason, web stories are treated a little bit differently in search. I have the ability to show up. One is a smaller pool. There aren't as many people in Google Web Stories or posting content in Google Web Stories as there are people posting content on just basic Google search. So you already have that going for you. The second thing that's worked really well when it comes to web stories is that it kind of doesn't follow the same rules as the organic traffic. So we had these major updates. Nothing has changed with web stories for me. It's been the same as far as like me having these stories that take off and then some that are just doing its own thing. It's exactly the same. So web stories have been huge. If you're not doing Google Web Stories on your blog, you should be if you want to get some organic traffic. It just adds to whatever traffic you're already getting to your blog. So web stories, that's worked really well. Something else that's worked very well for me is Pinterest, believe it or not. So I remember earlier this year, people keep asking me like, is Pinterest worth it? Should we even be focused on Pinterest? Pinterest made all these changes and updates, and I don't even know if it's going to work out. And my thoughts on Pinterest is that I still get a lot of traffic from it. But most of my traffic is from older content. And that's because I haven't changed any of my ways when it comes to what worked with Pinterest before, because I'm still getting good traffic from it. Now that has shifted with these Google web changes because for Miss Mill, I told you it wasn't really impacted from that first Google change. And the reason for that is because a lot of the traffic that was still staying consistent for me was my traffic I was getting from Pinterest. So yeah, it's so important, you guys, to make sure you're diversifying where your traffic is coming from. I mean, it may sound cool to say like, yeah, most of my traffic comes from, Google search, which is great. Like Google search traffic is great, like I mentioned, until things like this happen. So I think focusing on Pinterest is a really, really good way to make sure you're diversifying your traffic. And when things change, you have another source of traffic coming in. Pinterest was my saving grace for Miss Mill when it came to the first Google update. So if you're not on Pinterest, you should be on it. You should be pinning all your new content there. Some tips that I've learned recently is you want to focus on trends. So Pinterest has an area called Pinterest Trends, and they'll tell you like, hey, based on the content you've created in the past, here is what typically does this. Here's what's trending in your niche, pretty much. And based on what's trending in your niche, they will tell you what topics people are looking for. And because you share content that people are looking for, you're more likely to get some shares to your pins. Now, I'm testing it, like I said, so I can't say how well this works, but I'll give you guys a link to the Pinterest trends if this is something you want to look into and find a way to get more Pinterest traffic going. So I'm going to share that with you all. And then the other part is take a course on Pinterest. What's hard is like there's a lot of Pinterest courses out there, but not a lot of them have been updated for the recent Pinterest updates that have happened in the last couple of years. So hold on a second. I know two that have been updated recently, and I'm going to pull them up for you. 1 second. Here we go. So the first one is called, let me see, Pinteresting Strategies. So I'm going to pull it up for you. Oh, it's by Carly Campbell. And if I can, there it is. I'm going to share it with you. I think they may have a Black Friday deal or something happening. I'm not an affiliate for them, so full disclosure, that's there. So, here you go. I have the link for Trends for Pinterest, and then I have the second link here for Pinteresting Strategies. That's a really good course you can take. And then another one that I am a affiliate for is Pinterest Traffic Avalanche, and it's a really good course, I think. Let me see here. Miss Mail. So Pinterest Traffic Avalanche is one I took, and it's how I learned how to grow my Pinterest account, and it was super helpful for me. It's why I have 75,000 followers, and I get a substantial amount of traffic to my Pinterest account. But like I said, I took this course back when Pinterest was popular, and a lot of these courses made sense. But they have recently updated Pinterest Traffic Avalanche, which I'm happy to share. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my affiliate link for Pinterest Traffic Avalanche, and hopefully it helps you with your Pinterest game. But now's the time. If you haven't been focusing on Pinterest, now's the time to get there and get it going. Like I said, these changes have impacted most bloggers, and it makes sense to make sure you're diversifying your Pinterest traffic. I think they just updated this earlier this year, I believe. Yeah. Yep. So you know that one is going to be updated for you. So Pinterest is another place where you can diversify your traffic. So the first is Google Web Stories. That's going to help. Pinterest, that's another one that's going to help. And both of those have helped me so that I'm not completely drowning when it comes to like my blog traffic dying, at least my organic blog traffic dying. And then the third thing that has worked really well for me is just pivoting. So I'll tell you, one of my main strategies this year when it comes to my blog has been focusing on content. I've been so focused on making sure that I'm developing great content that is SEO based, and I've done research to see like what type of content my audience wants, making sure I'm staying consistent with publishing content. And that has like taken a lot of my focus, more focus from things that I should be doing, such as backlinking, getting up to speed with Pinterest like I should be, And then there was something else. Oh, fixing errors on my website. So with all these changes, something that I've been focusing on is more backlinking. So um, if you have a Fiverr account, there are a ton of people there who are happy to help you with whatever your backlinking needs may be, whether you have a budget of $20 or $500. There are people there who will help you get your backlinking together, because building up your domain authority is probably one of the most important things you can do for your blog. Not just from a traffic perspective, getting more organic traffic and making it so that when Google makes big changes, you can survive it, but also just continuing to grow your blog and in general, and having that consistent growth. So getting some backlinking done, that's something that I've been focusing on recently, and it's something that I'm going to continue to do, because it is something you should always be doing, finding an opportunity to build your backlinks every single month. Another thing that I said I was focusing on is fixing website errors. So something that some people may not know is if you have a lot of website errors, that can make an impact on your SEO. So Google is looking at that, and they'll tell you right in your Google Search Console, hey, we noticed these errors on your website. We're probably not going to send as many people to your site. So making sure that you're fixing errors. And if you don't have a SEMrush account, I think you can sign up for the free version of SEMrush and do an audit on your site to see what errors you have. And then again, I went on Fiverr. There are a ton of people who will look at your SEMrush issues and get them all figured out. I had 4,000 errors on my blog, Miss Millennium Magazine, and I had someone fix all 4,000 of them within a week, and it only costs $100. So yeah, get it done. It's a good opportunity to fix some of those problems, and it'll help build up your domain authority. It'll help with getting more organic traffic. And it's going to help with just making sure that people get to your content. If your site isn't able to be crawled, or it's only being partially crawled by Google, then that's an opportunity you're missing out on as well, to make sure you're getting the traffic that you need to your site. So fixing website errors is something else you can be focused on top of backlinking. And then the last thing I mentioned already was Pinterest, like understanding how Pinterest has changed, making sure that you have a strategy when it comes to sharing your new blog posts you create and old blog posts to Pinterest. I still use Tailwind, mostly because I love their Tailwind communities, but I'm also doing some manual posting on Pinterest as well, since I know that makes an impact within Pinterest. But yeah, it's the time to pivot. Definitely, if you've been hit with any of the Google updates, I feel for you, especially since it's like the holiday season, and I know this is typically when people make the most money on their blogs with advertising and affiliate sales. So yeah, just keep your head up. It's a season, right? As far as like just with different changes, and things can be a little bit more challenging. But I'm feeling very hopeful, especially knowing that when things like this happens, that means we have to like take our brains off of autopilot a little bit, and then focus back in on, okay, what needs to change? What do I need to do differently here so that I can make sure that I'm successful with my blog? So yeah, those are my tips. I see someone else jumped in. Hey, it's the first time I made it to a live. Hi there, how to end reviews. I'm happy to have you here. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat on the right. I was just talking about how all the recent Google updates have caused quite the stir in the blogging community. If you're in any different blogging groups, or you have any blogging buddies, it's hard to not talk about this. I have a really close blogging friend. We're kind of doing updates with each other every week or so. Like, how's your site doing? My site's okay. Are you still live? Yes. Okay, great. Because I mean, day to day, it can change like that with all these different updates. So it's important to make sure that you know what to do to keep your blog afloat when there are changes. I mean, today is Google, before it's been Facebook or Pinterest. But having diversified traffic on your blog is so important to make sure that when something big happens with one of these channels, you are safe. So the last thing I want to point out that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to your overall content and making sure you're getting good traffic is your email list. So, what I do anytime I have a new blog post, I have a weekly email that goes out to my list to say, hey, check out our new blog post from this week. And every time that email goes out, I see a little spike in traffic on my website because, I'm controlling that the people who come to my site that are in my email list, right? So making sure you have an email list and building that list is another way to stay solid with your traffic. If say you lost 70% of your organic traffic tomorrow, that means, if you have a good amount of people on your email list, you send out some emails to make up the difference to get people back to your blog for the people who aren't going there organically. So yes, hopefully those tips help. Have another comment from Karina. Hello, it's my first time as well. Great content. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that the content is good. So I mentioned this in the beginning of the call as well. Like I always have a topic I like to talk about in between like questions. And I'm talking about the different changes that have happened with Google and things to think about when it comes to diversifying your traffic, but also things that have helped my blogs stay afloat during this time where Google has made some significant changes. But also the idea of what was I going to say? Oh, the idea of making sure you have the ability to pivot. I talked about some ways that I'm pivoting just to like make sure that I'm on the safe side and getting my organic traffic back to where it used to be. But feel free to post questions about anything. It doesn't have to be about what I'm talking about exactly. I love answering whatever questions you have about blogging. So I see we have a question. Who do you recommend for starting an email list? Oh, this is a good question. So I have a favorite, and that favorite is ConvertKit. And I have an affiliate link for ConvertKit, and I'll tell you why I love ConvertKit so much. One second. So bloggingmoneylife.com/ConvertKit. So I'm an affiliate for ConvertKit, but I'm also an affiliate for MailerLite. And honestly, I have both because I have two different email lists. But ConvertKit is my favorite because ConvertKit is the only platform that I know of that was created by a creator. So it was originally started for bloggers, and it's very obvious. The things that they decide to develop and create within the platform was made with bloggers in mind. So I love ConvertKit for that. They've been so good about making sure that they're staying up to date anytime something big changes. So I really like them for that. You can do automations. They make it really easy to create landing pages. You don't have to have another tool to create landing pages. And when you sign up, your first 1,000 subscribers are free. So those are all the reasons why I love ConvertKit to get started. But they are limited when you want the free version because I don't think you have the ability to do like automated emails with ConvertKit when you first start with them. And if you're thinking like, oh, that's not important. Like if you want to send out a welcome email to people and have like a nice automation saying like, okay, day 1, they get this email. And then day 5, they get this email. You can't do that on the free version of ConvertKit. But you can do that on the free version of MailerLite. So if you have a smaller list or you don't have a list at all, MailerLite may be the place for you to go. I'll share my affiliate link for them as well, because I do think it's important to have a welcome sequence when you first start your blog, because that's how people get to know you, right? And I get a lot of people who reply to my welcome sequence, and I reply back to them, letting them know like, hey, I'm here. I'm a real person. Yeah, feel free to ask me questions. But it helps build that relationship with your audience. So I think that's a really good question. Depending on your preference, if you already have an email list or if you don't have an email list, I would choose one of the two. But what I will say about MailerLite is they're not as user friendly. They have a lot of the same features as ConvertKit, which is nice, and a lot of that you can access for free. But they've recently made some changes to where you have to start paying for their services sooner. So I can't remember exactly how that changed. I think it's because they updated their platform. But if you use the old version of MailerLite, you should still be able to use a lot of those same features for free. But if they make it so that you can only sign up for the new MailerLite, then I wouldn't. I would just go to ConvertKit because they're pretty much the same at this point. Okay. You said thank you. No list yet. Yeah. So I would probably try MailerLite unless they force you to do only the new MailerLite. They just do ConvertKit and go from there. But like I said, I use both of them. They're great for my bigger lists. I use ConvertKit, and then my smaller list I use MailerLite. And eventually, once my smaller list is making me more money, I'll probably move it to ConvertKit too. Good question. Good question. Question from Karina. Awesome. I have a baby blog, just 4 posts old. Oh, is there a good place to start learning? This is a good place to start learning. Oh, you come to the right place here for sure. I guess the question is, what do you want to learn? There's so many problems that you can solve with blogging. Is it what type of content should I be writing? Or how do I monetize my website? Or it can be, how do I put together some type of blogging schedule? Depending on whatever, I guess, questions you're trying to answer would dictate where you would go to learn more, where to learn more. I think a good place, if you don't want to spend any money right now, would be to join some blogging Facebook groups, places where people are having discussions, because I learn so much from those groups. And I'm very, very appreciative of them being around. One group that you can join is my Facebook group. I own the Bloggers Supporting Bloggers Facebook group. And that's one where we just post different threads every day. So you can share your blog posts to get more comments and likes, or your YouTube videos, or different social media posts that you want to get some more traffic to. But we do have a weekly Q&A group, weekly Q&A thread, and there's usually some good conversations happening there too. But I like I think some of the best Facebook groups for bloggers are the ones that are, you pay for a service. Literally, you stole the words right out of my mouth. Yes, Rank IQ group is awesome. So Rank IQ is one. If you sign up for Rank IQ, which I'll give you my affiliate link for them, because if this is not your first time coming to one of my Q&As, you know that I am like Rank IQ fangirl for life, because they are amazing. Like, they have changed my blog significantly in regards to like just getting more organic traffic. So I think that Rank IQ is awesome. So I'm putting my link there if you want to sign up. And when you sign up, you get to go to their Facebook group. And what you learn is that with Rank IQ, people who sign up for that, those are advanced bloggers. Like, they have more advanced strategies on how to grow your blog organically. And they're really good about answering people's questions. In that same vein, another Facebook group I love is the Mediavine Facebook group. But of course, you can't join the Mediavine Facebook group until you become a Mediavine advertiser. And I think you have to get to, 50,000 sessions before you can become a Mediavine advertiser. But yes, the Facebook groups that exist for services that you pay for are typically the best ones for bloggers, in my opinion. So thanks for that suggestion. It looks like Lurleen has another one. If you're a travel blogger, the Women Travel Bloggers is also awesome. See, look, they're all coming out now. Thanks for that suggestion, Lurleen. There are some really good Facebook groups out there with other bloggers. And if you talk to other bloggers, you'll find that that's where the information is. This is how I'm staying like up to the minute with updates on all the different Google changes because of all the variety of Facebook groups I'm a part of. So yeah, Corinne said, thank you. I'll check them both out. Awesome. Yeah, Lurleen said, yes, they are so advanced. I have learned so much from you in Rank IQ group. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Lurleen. Yeah, it's great. And the Facebook groups, like I said, they're pretty active and up to the minute. Like, hey, this big change happened. How's it going for everyone else? And everyone's very helpful too. So I really like that. That people can check it out. Yep, Lurleen confirmed it's 50,000 sessions you need to have on your website before you can qualify for Mediavine. So yeah, good to know. Lurleen has another question. Does time blocking work for you? Yes. Yes, it does. I time block every week actually. So something I do, I have a couple of blogging friends. We created a mastermind group together and we meet twice a week for about 3 hours each day. And what we do during this time is we'll have a little chit chat in the beginning, and then we block off time to work. So what we do is we have a timer, a Pomodoro timer that goes for 25 minutes. We all turn off our cameras, our mics, and we work for 25 minutes after we say, this is what I'm going to work on. And then we come back and say, what did you accomplish? And it's nice because I have people who are saying like, okay, Jazzy, you said you're going to do this, but you didn't do that. And you feel that pressure a little bit because you know that people are waiting for you to get your thing done as well. So yes, time blocking works. And I look forward to this time. If you can do it with other people, start a little group with other bloggers who want to achieve some of the same things as you. Maybe some people who are in this chat right now, wink, wink. That's a good way to hold your team accountable, and also hear what other people are working on. I have, blogging besties for the last 8 years. I can't believe it's been that long. With us meeting every single week. And I love hearing about their journeys. And their journeys are so different from my journey, but we learn a lot from each other because we're all like focused on different things. Like I have one blogging bestie who's like our SEO like emperor. Like she knows SEO like the back of her hand. I'm really good at monetizing and figuring out ways to like make money and like shortcuts to finding different opportunities to get things done in a faster period of time. Then I have another friend who's like super good on organization. And like you just combine all those things into one group and it is like powerful. So benefits of a mastermind. So yes, that's a good question. Question from JJ. Can you explain themes again, please? Yes. So a theme is pretty much like I guess a good way to describe it is it's like the bodice, the bodice of your website. It is what shapes your website so that it looks beautiful. It's like going to the store and saying, I want that dress, and you put it on your site. And if you want that dress to be customized, you can take it to a tailor, and it's really easy to go in and make some adjustments so it looks like your brand. But that's pretty much what a theme is. Now, when you have a WordPress site, there's some very basic themes that come with it. And I highly recommend just spending the 50 to 100 bucks on a theme because it is going to pay off so much better having a professional looking site than going with a free theme and it looking like a free theme. My favorite place when it comes to themes is Restored 316. I have been using their themes for the last, I don't even know, 8 years or so now. And they're really good about helping you install the theme. And let's say you already have a logo and colors and you have an idea of what you want your site to look like. You can pay them to actually design your site as well using the theme and customizing it for you. So I really like them for their services. Like they have beautiful themes that are super versatile, but they also help you get it set up. So they have a little bit of a technical side as well. I'm trying to grab my affiliate link for you guys so you have that as well. So one moment while I get it. If I can find it. But yeah, that's pretty much what a theme is, and it's just the core outline of your site from a design perspective. Something else that's cool about themes is that they have a lot of them come with specific plugins already on your website. And what's nice about that is that you don't have to worry about downloading a bunch of other plugins because it already has some of the basic things that you're going to need. So I like that about having a theme as well. So I have my affiliate link here. You can check out Restore 316. They're awesome. They're portable. And they stay up to date too with a lot of the different changes for Google or whatever. So that's a good question. Karina says, so helpful. Thank you. Great. Lurleen says, I have so much trouble juggling work full time and a part-time job. Yeah, that's why I do a lot of my blogging time in the evenings. So I said it's twice a week. I probably spend, like I said, we spend about 3 hours twice a week. So it's about 6 hours where it's dedicated blog time. But I have a little block of time because I have a toddler. So I know I feel the struggle. I work full time, I have a toddler, and I have 2 blogs. So a lot of my blogging time, I have to block it out. Otherwise, I would never get anything done. So I have 1 hour of time where my nanny is still here and I'm not working. So I use that 1 hour in the afternoons after work where I work on blog stuff. So I get a good 5 hours there. And then I told you I had the 2 days a week in the evenings where I meet with my blogging buddies for about 3 hours. So I get another 6 hours there. So between that, I'm typically able to get to all of my regular blogging things. If there's anything additional, I have to take it up on the weekends. But yeah, that's how I do it, if that helps at all. Arlene said, I love that. Karina said, I love that too. Okay, I have another question. Can you do a video or discussion on that? Would love to see how to make money on blogs, especially for just starting a blog. Oh my goodness, yes, that is my specialty. So for those of you who don't know, I actually have a course called Blogging Money Formula. And I talk through, that's pretty much what it's about. It's not just about making money with your blog. It's about setting your blog up in a way so that it can make money. So the first way that I make money with my blog is with sponsored posts. And I say before you can even start asking for sponsored posts, you have to have this page ready. You have to have this consistent schedule. You have to have this, and that. And I walk through all those different steps and show you what my process is, as well as giving you some tools and guidance on how to do that. So really good course if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, I can definitely do another Q&A session on just making money with starting a blog. But if you haven't already, you should check out my YouTube channel because yeah, I have some videos on just making money with sponsored posts, monetizing your blog, affiliate sales. Yeah, all that's there. But yes, I can do a Q&A on that for sure. Jacqueline Hamilton. Hi, Jacqueline. I'm glad you're here. Speaking of Blogging Money Formula, she's one of our newest students for that course. So glad to see you here. Marlene said, can you put your course here? Yes, I can. Let me see if I can find the link to the dang thing. Finding links is probably the hardest part of this, you guys, honestly. So yeah, I'll put the link to Blogging Money Formula in the chat here because it's a good course. And like I said, it's not just, it's for people who already have a blog. So I'm not going to show you how to set up a blog, but I will show you after you already have a blog, how to take it and make it so that you can bring income with it. So let me grab the link to that here. Boom. All right, there we go. Blogging Money Formula. Boom. So there you guys go. Oh, yay. And then Jacqueline said, yes, I love it. So easy to follow. Yay. I'm so glad it's going well. So good. All right. So, like I said, I have the link here for you guys. You want to check out Blogging Money Formula. I am loving these line of questions, by the way. Like, I love like how you guys are thinking about this. And I'm always a person who says, like, I think there are some questions that really showcase who, like, where you are with your blog and how it's going. And I mean, you guys are asking the right questions. That's for sure. I know it can be overwhelming, especially if you're new or just getting started and there's just so many things that are like shiny, like, oh my goodness, I should focus on Instagram. Oh no, what about TikTok? Or what about SEO or Pinterest? Um, one piece of advice I will give, and I speak from experience in making this mistake many times, is when you are going through trying to figure out what to focus on your blog, and it's something that you have no idea about. Let's say, for example, you don't have a Pinterest account, you don't know anything about Pinterest, and you realize, okay, I need to take some courses, I need to get my Pinterest account set up. Let that be your thing, right? Let that be the thing you focus on. Don't fall for another course that's on sale right now. Don't say, well, I should get my TikTok account started right now. Pick one thing at a time to focus on, master it, and then go to the next thing. Because I feel like if you get distracted with a lot of these things, what happens is you start a lot of things and you don't finish anything, because it's so easy to get overwhelmed. If I feel like if you, for example, in my course, I mentioned, if you do these things first before you start monetizing, if you have those things done first, the basic blogging things I say, then I think it's okay to start tackling some of those bigger challenges, but one thing at a time. Otherwise, like, it gets so crazy and overwhelming. And then that, I feel like that's what leads to a lot of people quitting blogging, because they get overwhelmed with all the things there are to do. How to and review says, yes, it was crazy overwhelming when I started. Facebook blogs really helped. Yes. Yeah, Facebook is so good, especially when it comes to like different blogging groups. So I completely agree. JJ says, thanks much. I'm afraid of techie stuff like plugins, etc. Oh, I'm not a tech person at all. I have a basic millennials knowledge of technology. Like, it's something that has a good user experience design. I can figure it out. But yeah, I'm not a tech savvy person either. The good thing is that there's a lot of people who can help you, and a lot of times it's affordable. If you have a problem that's taking too much time, this is something else I've learned. If you're spending like days on something, just trying to figure out, like, I feel like this should be easier, ask somebody. Go on one of those Facebook groups and ask, like, has anyone had this problem? And I guarantee you there's an easier way. I love to tell the story. When I first started blogging, I didn't know what WordPress was. I didn't know what a content management system was. And I thought, like, to have a website, you have to code it. So I learned basic HTML code and was hand coding every single page on my site. So I would write a blog post in like a Word document, and then I would take that Word document and then I would hand code every single sentence and then copy and paste that into my website with no content management system. And the whole time I'm like, man, this takes so long. I don't know how anyone with a website does this. If you ever have those moments, if you're thinking, I don't know how anyone else does this, I guarantee you there's a tool, there's a resource, there's a service, something that makes everything else easier. So don't struggle alone, ask for help, and I'm sure someone can help. Erlene said, yeah, I was going to focus on web stories and not Pinterest right now. Yes, focus on web stories. You don't have to do all the things at once. One thing at a time, for sure. Is it good advice? I was trying to do everything. We all do. Everyone does it. So don't feel bad. Literally every blogger I know has fallen into this trap of like just trying and trying to do everything and getting overwhelmed and being like, I can't do this. I got to quit. Jacqueline says, I have Pinterest and Jacqueline, I think the rest of your message got lost. I'll wait for you to post what else you have here. Marlene said, I so agree. I just hired a well-known blogger person to set up Google for cheap, and it was a lifesaver. Yes, I have so many of those stories where I mean, it made no sense for me not to pay this person to do this thing. Like I found myself in a place where I was creating content and my content was good, but like if I kept up at the pace that I was going, I'm never going to hit the goal that I want to hit until like 2026. And if your goal is to hit the goal before that, then something's got to change. If you only have so much time to dedicate to this, then figure out how to make time. Either cut something else out that is not getting you the results that you want, find a way to get more time, or find someone who can help. Fiverr, like I said, there's a lot of people there who can help you with just about everything pretty affordably. And then Upwork is another place. However, I would not recommend Upwork for someone who's not had experience with Upwork. Honestly, that's another, I can do a video just on that, like hiring the right people on Upwork. But when you do, when you find people on Upwork, it's amazing. I've had people that I've been working with for years now, and they've been great. So yeah, completely agree. I was spending hours setting up Google for, oh my goodness, Arlene. So yeah, if it's taking you hours, like, no, this is not the place to go. I would start with a Google search with like, is there a video of someone showing me how to do this? And if not, I would go to the Facebook groups, and then I would go to Fiverr for someone to help me with this problem, because if it's taking too long, it's not as helpful. So yeah, I shared the link to Fiverr. Like I said, Upwork.com is another good place for you guys if you want to hire help, but there's definitely a science to hiring the right people and not getting scammed on Upwork. So if you're new, Fiverr is a good place to go, and you can find affordable help there. But first, you got to figure out what exactly you need help with, and being able to explain what your problem is, and getting people set up to help you out there. Literally said, "Yep, that's what I did." Nice, much more time efficient that way. So, oh no, did you get scammed? Not necessarily scammed. It's more like if you don't know what to ask for, that's a good way to put this. Let's say, for example, I wanted to hire a virtual assistant, right? And I tell the virtual assistant, yeah, I just need someone to help me with social media, but I don't tell them like what my process is for social media. They can go in and be clicking in on Facebook and liking things and commenting and stuff, and they think they're doing a good job. But I really wanted them to grow my social media profiles, and I wanted them to drive traffic to my blog, but I didn't clarify with them or tell them what I want them to be focusing their time on. So I just spent a lot of money for someone to click around on comments and updating things when that was not what I hired them for. So I don't think it's a matter of getting scammed. I mean, I have some funny stories from Upwork where like people not saying not really who they say they are, or like, people saying they did things, but they didn't. But the platform is pretty good where it's hard, I think, to like get scammed or not know what people are working on, but you do have to pay attention. You have to see what people are actually doing. You got to meet with them on a regular basis and ask them, how are you doing? Do you need help with anything? Do you understand the task? Give them written documentation, give them a video. I mean, there's so much stuff you need to do to make sure people get things right, especially if you're talking about, but yeah, it's a science, like I mentioned. Yeah, oh, that makes sense for sure. Yeah, I get that. Yep. Okay, I was waiting for you, Jacqueline. Let's see here. I'm showing. Okay, that's no problem at all. I'll give you an overview of Rank IQ and why I love it so much. And actually, I have a blog post on Rank IQ, so I'm going to find that and share it while I talk through what it is. So, for those of you who don't know, Rank IQ is a tool that makes it really easy for you to grow your organic traffic. Organic traffic meaning like traffic you get from Google or Bing, or places where people search for things online. And what's great about Rank IQ is you don't have to have a lot of search engine optimization experience to understand how to use the platform, or to be able to grow your traffic. Is keyword research. And keyword research is hard if you don't know anything about SEO. It means like having an idea of like what topics you want to search for. Are people actually searching for these terms? How competitive is it? Will people actually find me if I try to write an article about this topic? And I got this wrong for a very long time. I was writing content that I wanted to write, and I wasn't doing any keyword research first to see if anyone is searching for the content I'm writing online. That is very important. So, with Rank IQ, it's created by a blogger. And what he did was he started doing a lot of keyword research himself and putting together a list of, hey, if you want to rank for this keyword on your blog within 2 weeks, then use this keyword and use this list of keywords next to it in your blog post, and you're going to rank within 2 weeks. And I don't know if you signed up for Rank IQ, Jacqueline. There is a 30-minute video on the homepage, and he says, "Don't do anything on Rank IQ until you watch the video." Definitely don't do anything on Rank IQ until you watch the video. Watch that video, and I think it explains a lot of what it does. And the thing is, like, SEO is not something that happens overnight, right? It's one of those things where you put it out there and then you have to wait weeks or months, sometimes even years before you start to really see an impact from what you did. So when you're in Rank IQ, go to the keyword list, look for any keywords that rank either ultra fast or very fast, and run a report on those, depending on your level of service you have with Rank IQ. You get a certain number of reports that you can run. And then once you run a report, you go to the optimize page, and I write all my blog content there. I have freelance writers, and they write all their blog content for me in Rank IQ as well. And once you get the grade that Rank IQ says you need to have, and you meet the word count they say you need to have, you should be good to go. I have seen tremendous success by publishing all of my content through Rank IQ. And I think you will too. And I've seen that a lot of other bloggers too who were impacted by a lot of the Google changes recently. Those who are using Rank IQ perform so much better because they are using keywords that don't have as high of a competition. So they did a lot better than blogs that are ranking for these really crazy keywords like cat, like things that you would never rank for ever. So yeah, I think I summed it up okay, but there's my blog post on my review of Rank IQ and why I think it's the most best tool ever. So check it out. And I think it does a good job of explaining it a lot better than I just did. Well, hopefully that helps. Yeah, for me, the video helped and just playing around with it, and it started to make sense. Yes. Yep. Completely agree. Well, something else I love about Rank IQ is it's only like 5 pages, the entire website. So that helps too. Definitely playing around and looking at everything. Your eyes like start to get wide, like, oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. I'm looking at it right now too. And I see that 30-minute video is now 53 minutes. I probably need to watch this video again, honestly, because it's now longer than it was when I first joined Rank IQ. But that video is important. And take notes because he talks through a lot of like what a lot of the different reporting means when you're looking at the reporting on your site. So check it out. It's a really good tool. It's one of my favorites. Thanks. I need my patience too. Patience is important. Yes. But he knows what he's talking about. The guy who created Rank IQ, he has a podcast called Blogging Millionaire. And that's how I found out about Rank IQ. And he has some really good tips. He has he talks about too in regard to all the stuff that's happening with Google and updating your content properly and things like that. So I know one of the questions asked was, what's another place to learn? That's a good podcast to listen to if you like listening to podcasts to learn. Blogging Million. Let me find the link to you for you guys so you can check it out. But yeah, that's another good way to learn online for free. So I'll check that out there. Boom. So I just put the link to that podcast if you guys are interested. And yeah, his most recent episodes have been about the helpful content update. I'm sure he's going to have more episodes about the update that's happening right now. And I don't remember what that one's called. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. You guys, this has been a really good conversation. I've really enjoyed all of your questions, and I love seeing some of the new faces here. Thanks so much for joining. As I mentioned, I do this every single month on the last Wednesday of the month. I think next month is probably going to be a little bit earlier, so I'll probably see you guys in 2 weeks just due to the holiday. But I'm looking forward to it, and I will see you guys next month. So see you guys next month. Have a good night. Bye.